My name is Noah, and at 62 years old, I never thought my own daughter-in-law would try to steal my home out from under me. The alarm blared at 4 in the morning. I bolted upright in bed, my heart racing. The security system my late husband installed was going off. I grabbed my phone and checked the app. Someone was at the property records office, using my information. "What the hell?" I whispered, pulling up the notification details. The next morning, I confronted my daughter-in-law Vanessa at breakfast. My son Brett sat between us, clueless as always. "Vanessa, were you at the county recorder's office yesterday?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. She barely looked up from her coffee. "Why would I be there?" "Because my security alert says someone accessed property records using my personal information at 4 a.m. Brett frowned. "Mom, that doesn't make sense. Why would Vanessa—" "Ask her yourself," I interrupted. Vanessa's jaw tightened. "I was checking on something for Brett. The house has been in your name alone since Dad died. We thought it might be time to add Brett as a co-owner. You know, for when you're gone." "When I'm gone?" I repeated slowly. "You're not getting any younger, Noah," she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "We're just trying to plan ahead. This house is worth over $1 million now. Brett deserves his inheritance." My son shifted uncomfortably. "Mom, we just want to make sure everything's in order." "Everything is in order," I said firmly. "Your father left this house to me, not to you, not to Vanessa, to me." Vanessa stood abruptly. "We'll discuss this later when you're being more reasonable." She walked out, leaving Brett staring at his hands. "When did you ask her to do this?" I demanded. "I didn't," he admitted quietly. "She said you'd mentioned it, that you wanted to start transferring assets." "I never said that." Brett looked up, confused. "Then why would she—" "That's what I intend to find out." I spent the next 3 days digging. What I found made my blood run cold. Vanessa had been meeting with a shady estate lawyer named Ronald Palmer. She'd forged my signature on preliminary transfer documents. She'd even opened a bank account in my name to receive the proceeds from a reverse mortgage she was trying to process. The motive was crystal clear: greed. Pure, calculated greed. Vanessa had been telling people she was the new owner. She'd been showing the house to interior designers, planning renovations. She'd actually scheduled a meeting with a real estate investor about selling it for $1.2 million. She planned to have me declared incompetent, take power of attorney, and transfer everything to Brett, who she'd divorce 6 months later, taking half of everything in the settlement. I'd been married to my husband for 38 years. We'd raised Brett in this house, and now his wife thought she could just take it? Not a chance. I called my sister Rachel first. "She did what?" Rachel's voice exploded through the phone. "Forged my signature, tried to file transfer documents, the works." "That manipulative little—" Rachel caught herself. "What are you going to do?" "Fight back, legally, strategically." I paused. "I need you to be my witness, and my support system." "You've got it. What else?" "I need a lawyer, a good one." Rachel didn't hesitate. "Call Attorney Thompson. He handled my friend's estate fraud case. The guy's a shark." I met with William Thompson the next day. His office overlooked the harbor, all glass and steel. "Mrs. Evans," he greeted me, shaking my hand firmly. "Tell me everything." I laid it all out. The forged documents, the secret meetings, the reverse mortgage attempt. He listened carefully, taking notes. "Do you have proof?" "I have the security alerts, screenshots of the bank account she opened, copies of the documents she tried to file." I pulled out a folder. "And I recorded our conversation yesterday when she admitted she'd been planning this for months." Thompson's eyebrows rose. "She admitted it?" "I told her I knew everything. She got cocky." I played the recording. Vanessa's voice filled the office. "So what if I did? You're just going to leave everything to Brett anyway. I'm speeding up the inevitable. Besides, what are you going to do about it? Brett will never believe you over me." "That's fraud," Thompson said simply. "Identity theft, forgery, possibly elder abuse. Can we stop her? We can do better than that. We can make sure she never tries this again with anyone else. Over the next 2 weeks, we built our case. Thompson contacted the county recorder's office. They confirmed someone had attempted to file transfer documents with forged signatures. I hired a private investigator named Jake Morrison. He dug deeper into Vanessa's background.
"You're not going to believe this," Jake said when he called.
She tried the same thing with her first husband's mother. Different state, got caught, settled out of court.
"She's done this before?"
Twice. Both times targeting elderly women. Both times claiming she was helping family. Jake's voice hardened. She's a professional con artist. Rachel came over every evening. We strategized together over tea. "What about Brett?" she asked gently. "He's been manipulated too," I admitted. "She's isolated him from his friends, controls their finances. Classic manipulation." "Will you tell him?" "I have to, but not yet. Not until we have everything ready." Thompson filed an emergency protective order. The judge granted it immediately when he saw the evidence. "She can't access any of your accounts, can't file any documents in your name, can't come within 500 feet of your property," Thompson explained. "And there's a hearing scheduled for 2 weeks from now." I finally sat Brett down 3 days before the hearing. "Son, I need you to listen to me. Really listen." "Mom, if this is about Vanessa again..." "It's about her trying to steal my house. And it's about her planning to divorce you the moment she succeeded." I showed him everything. The forged documents, the investigator's report about her previous cons, the recorded confession. Brett's face went white, then red, then white again. "She said you were getting dementia," he whispered. "She said you needed help managing your affairs." "Do I seem like I have dementia to you?" He shook his head slowly, tears forming. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have known. I should have protected you." "She's good at what she does, Brett. She's had practice." I squeezed his hand. "But now we're going to stop her." The confrontation happened at Thompson's office. Vanessa arrived with her lawyer, Ronald Palmer, who looked nervous when he saw the documents spread across the conference table. "What is this?" Vanessa demanded. Thompson spoke calmly. "This is evidence of fraud, identity theft, and elder abuse." "That's ridiculous! Noah's confused. She's been having memory problems." "I have witnesses who will testify that I'm perfectly sound," I interrupted, "including your husband." Vanessa's eyes narrowed. "Brett wouldn't—" "I'm right here," Brett said from the doorway. "And yes, I would." She spun around, her mask finally slipping. "Baby, you don't understand. I was doing this for us, for our future." "You mean your future," Brett said coldly. "I saw the divorce papers in your desk drawer, dated 6 months from now, already filled out." Her lawyer stood abruptly. "I need to speak with my client privately." "Sit down, Mr. Palmer," Thompson said. "You're named in this complaint too, for knowingly processing fraudulent documents." Palmer sat back down heavily. "Here's what's going to happen," Thompson continued. "You will sign a full confession. You will agree to never contact Mrs. Evans again. You will pay restitution for all legal fees and investigative costs." "And if I don't?" Vanessa's voice shook with anger. "Then we file criminal charges. Identity theft carries up to 5 years in prison in this state. Elder abuse adds another 3. Fraud adds more." Thompson leaned forward. "You'll do actual prison time." Vanessa looked at Palmer desperately. "Can they do this?" He nodded miserably. "They have everything. The forged signatures, the secret accounts, your admission on tape, your prior history." "My what?" "We know about Denver," I said quietly. "And Phoenix. The other women you tried this with." Her face drained of color. "You've been served with a restraining order," Thompson added. You're not allowed within 500 feet of Mrs. Evans or her property. You have 48 hours to remove your belongings from the house. Brett spoke up. I'm filing for divorce, and you won't get a dime. You can't do this, Vanessa screamed. That house should be mine. I earned it. I put up with your boring mother and her stupid stories for 3 years. The room went silent. There it is, Rachel said from her seat by the window. The real Vanessa. Vanessa turned on her. Shut up! This is none of your business! My sister is my business, Rachel shot back. Thompson pushed the confession across the table. Sign it, now, or we file criminal charges this afternoon. 2 weeks later, we all gathered in Thompson's office for the final settlement meeting. Judge Morrison was there to oversee it, since criminal charges were still possible. Let's begin, Judge Morrison said, reviewing the documents. Ms. Vanessa Parker, you've agreed to this settlement to avoid prosecution, correct? Yes, Your Honor, Vanessa mumbled, sitting between her new lawyer and a court-appointed observer. Speak up, the judge ordered. Yes, Your Honor, she repeated louder. Brett sat beside me, his hand in mine. Rachel was on my other side. Thompson stood near his desk, arms crossed. Judge Morrison continued. You admit to forging Mrs. Evans's signature on property transfer documents? Yes. You admit to opening bank accounts in her name without authorization? Yes. You admit to attempting to process a reverse mortgage using fraudulent documents? Vanessa's jaw clenched. Yes. And you admit to planning to have Mrs. Evans declared incompetent so you could take control of her assets? Yes, she hissed. Thompson stepped forward. Your Honor, Mrs. Evans would like to address the defendant. I stood, looking directly at Vanessa. You came into my home. You sat at my table. You called me Mom. Noah, I'm sorry, Vanessa started. I'm not finished, I cut her off. You manipulated my son. You tried to steal my home. The home my husband and I built together over almost 40 years. Tears ran down Vanessa's face. I made a mistake. I was desperate. My parents lost everything and I don't care about your excuses, I said firmly. You're a con artist. You've done this before. You'll probably try it again with someone else. Judge Morrison looked at Vanessa's lawyer. Has your client signed the full confession and restitution agreement? Yes, Your Honor. The lawyer slid the documents across. And the restraining order is permanent? Permanent, Thompson confirmed. She's also agreed to never work in estate planning, elder care, or any position involving vulnerable adults. Brett finally spoke. I want to say something. Judge Morrison nodded. Go ahead, Mr. Evans. Vanessa, I thought I loved you. Brett's voice cracked. I thought we were building a life together, but you were just using me to get to my mother's money. Brett, please, we can fix this. No, he said firmly. We can't. The divorce is final next week. You get nothing. Not the house, not the cars, not a penny. Rachel leaned forward. I hope every person you ever meet knows what you tried to do. That's already happening, Thompson interjected. Mrs. Evans has agreed to cooperate with authorities in Denver and Phoenix. Your previous victims are filing charges, too. Vanessa's eyes widened. What? They found each other, I explained. Through the investigator. They're coming forward now, together. Her new lawyer whispered urgently in her ear. Vanessa shook her head frantically. No, this wasn't supposed to. Judge Morrison banged his gavel lightly. Ms. Parker, you're looking at charges in 3 states now. This settlement only covers California. I suggest you cooperate with authorities in the other jurisdictions. Your Honor, please. I can't afford.
You should have thought of that before you made elder fraud your business model, the judge said coldly. We're done here. The settlement stands. Mrs. Evans retains full ownership of all her property. Ms. Parker will pay $47,000 in restitution, covering legal fees and investigative costs. Thompson added, Payment is due within 90 days, or she faces immediate prosecution. Vanessa buried her face in her hands, sobbing. I felt no sympathy. Can I say one more thing? I asked Judge Morrison. Of course, Mrs. Evans. I looked at Vanessa. You said I was just going to leave everything to Brett anyway. You were right. I was. But not anymore. Brett squeezed my hand. Mom, you don't have to. I'm leaving half to you, I told him, and half to charity, to an organization that helps elder abuse victims. I turned back to Vanessa. In your honor. Rachel actually laughed. Perfect. Vanessa looked up, mascara streaking her face. You can't do that. It's my house, I said simply. I can do whatever I want with it. That's what you never understood. It was never yours to take. Judge Morrison stood. This matter is concluded. Miss Parker, if you violate any terms of this agreement or the restraining order, you will be arrested immediately. We walked out of that office together. Brett, Rachel, Thompson, and me. The sun was shining. My house was mine. My life was mine. Brett hugged me tight. I'm so sorry, Mom. You were a victim too, I told him. But now we both know better. Rachel linked her arm through mine. Lunch? My treat? Absolutely. Thompson shook my hand. Mrs. Evans, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for everything, William. As we walked to the parking lot, I thought about everything that had happened. Vanessa had tried to use the law to steal from me. Instead, I used it to protect myself and stop her from hurting others. That wasn't revenge. That was justice. And it felt amazing to fight back the right way and win. Have you ever had someone in your family try to take what was rightfully yours? Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones you need to watch most carefully. Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.